teen minister of many years here at Inner Light. Reverend Eileen P. Attanasio was ordained as an interfaith minister in 2001. She's been a teen minister here at Inner Light for 15 plus years. Reverend Eileen also has a private spiritual coaching and mentoring that she does. And here's some things you don't know about her. She was an EMT on an ambulance, and she was one of 2 women at the time that drove the fire truck. Yay! Forging the lead here, girl. She was also a special education teacher. And now, besides being a minister, she has a private practice of rehabilitation and massage and treating all kinds and all sorts of trauma, including anxiety, stress, weight loss, self-care, and physical injuries. She has offices in Los Gatos and in Santa Cruz. She calls herself a spiritual athlete and loves to be the bridge in bringing people together, people and communities together. She believes, let me try that again. She believes in life, everything in life is a sign from God, from life, from the universe, and is a mirror for us to learn from. Her passion is spiritual growth and empowering youth. She doesn't have any children, yet she considers all the young children of the world to be hers. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce Reverend Eileen Attanasio.
It should be on. Can everybody hear me okay? How about now? We need to shut this one off, Jen. Test, test, test. Stop. Can we shut this one off, Jenny? Good morning. You can't hear me? Yes, you can. No, you can't. There you go. I'm going to just take a moment to take you in and receive you. And I'm waiting for messages as to what to say. It's changed 3 days in a row now. So I just have to share, you guys know that I work with the teens, and this is actually the most nervous I've been out of all the speaking. I've spoken many, many times at teen camp, and one of the things we do at teen camp, we have 2 former teenagers here, Sarah and Heather. And sometimes when the teens are feeling anxiety, and you know from my last talk, I shared a little bit about my own anxiety, we rub our hands together and we send that person love. So I'm going to just ask if you could just send me some love. And I'm going to beam it right back at you. Thank you. And one of the reasons I feel that I get together with community here and at Holy Cross and different churches is to remind me who I am and to remind you who you are, and that we're all connected. And we impact each other. And so hopefully when we get together, we remind ourselves and we know that. And so when we leave, we bring that with us. And we serve each other. You want this moved to the side? How's that? So basically, we feel our hearts, we remind ourselves who we are, and then we go out in the world and we bring the experience of who we are out there. And I do believe that everything's a sign, but I also believe that even though we're the same, we also have unique gifts. And so when we go out there, we're like little puzzle pieces. And if we do our part where our heart calls us out, everything just magically works. So last month we started with appreciation for the whole month. This month we moved into release, and we're right at the tail end of the month. And for January, we'll be moving into discernment. So what's beautiful is we take our life experiences, past and present, we give appreciation, and then we learn from them and take them with us, but we let them go. And then we move into discernment, which for me is what's really important to me. You know, through all those experiences, a lot of stuff comes up. A lot of joy, a lot of discomfort. But if I get the gifts and I move forward with those gifts instead of beating myself up, it's very nourishing soil for my future. So today's topic is the gift of release. Release being healing, spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally. When we release, something happens to us. We open up, and it provides space for something new to come in. So this week, I had plenty of lessons about release. Just like in August, it was about non-attachment, which is very similar. So what's interesting, I had to laugh because I run every day a few miles, and I was running. And you know you're releasing a lot when your Lycra spandex pants are falling down. And I just said, wow, this is pretty amazing. But what happened to me is I've been working on this. I've been trying to put together some books and things, and I get overwhelmed. And there's this one piece that I was working on. It's titled Prayer. And I've been working on it for a couple years. And I was laying in my bed. I play it every morning. You know how on an iPhone you can highlight everything, and you can hit speak, and it'll speak to you. So I just lay there, and I just take in all the prayers. Something told me. Something didn't feel right. You know that something that leads you, your heart. It doesn't make sense. It's not logical. But it's a message. Well, I didn't listen. It erased the entire thing. It erased years of all my prayers I had written. Oh, I said that and a little bit more. So, of course, I called Apple, and we spent an hour and a half. We couldn't there wasn't a way to recover it. So I decided immediately, I started rewriting, and I pulled up a lot. It was like it was in the cells of my body already, so I rewrote the whole thing. I felt like it was really complete. So the next day, I hit select all and speak. And you know, that's something. That something just said something to me again. And it said before I had saved it into notes, save it on email or, some other way. So yesterday, I was listening to it, and I just had this eerie feeling. And I had fallen asleep after the prayer. I didn't touch it. It was way over there on the side of my bed. And when I woke up to do my prayers and meditation, I went over to my phone. You got to be kidding me. The whole thing was erased again. You know, this has happened to me with weddings when I write a wedding. I just did a wedding the other day and the whole thing got erased. I didn't touch the phone. I don't know what happened. It doesn't matter, but what matters is there was an impulse or there was a call that I didn't listen to. How many could relate to that? Oh, something just told me. Yeah. So when I was thinking about this release thing, it actually morphed into something different over the last few days, and I started thinking about the spiritual mind treatment. And for those of you that aren't familiar with it, basically, the way I like to talk about it with people that aren't familiar, it's a 5-step prayer process, or it's a 5-step affirmation to go from point A to letting it go into the universe and, you know, thinking positively, basically. And so I was thinking about release, and I was boxing myself in with all my papers and my thoughts, and, you know, you should have seen my apartment. It was just, my ironing board was covered, my bed was covered, my counters were covered, and all of a sudden I started feeling frustrated. And like the reading said, when we're pushing, chaos reigns, frustration begins, right? And so I felt it in my body. Our bodies are wonderful compasses to tell us what's going on here. It gives us information about our actions. What are we doing? What are we thinking? Our behaviors. And so when I started thinking about my relationship to myself, I was just feeling like it was like self-bondage. Like I was in my own prison. And so I wanted to kind of demonstrate this with you, to kind of give you something to remember this. And so in order to release means we're holding on before we release, right? We're holding on to judgments, ideas, dreams, criticisms. What else? Pain, physical pain, emotional pain, advice, what people think of us. I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. Oh, I didn't do that right. Oh, right and wrong. So it's like all this control for what? There's something underneath that. And for each of us, it's different. Right? So for me, I'm holding on to, I'm not enough. I can't do it right. Oh, I don't have enough time. Oh, God, I don't look that good. Oh, what am I going to say? Oh, I'm not pretty enough. I'm not pretty enough. Oh, hang on. I want to hold on to this. Hang on. What else? What else am I Oh, can somebody help me with that? Thank you. Oh, thank you for keeping me in my stuff, Heather. Thank you. Thank you for letting me hold on to all my stuff. Because you know what? Friends will help you hold on to your stuff. People will help you hold on to your stuff. And I'm holding on, and more stuff. Life just keeps happening. And wait. Oh, but you know, and then little things start happening. Oh, to your left. Little things start happening, and oh, I broke my little angel that I made in kindergarten when I was planning. Can you help me? Help me get these, Heather. So, Heather. See, Heather, thank you for holding on to my stuff with me, Heather. Thanks. And then what happens is sometimes God says, here, let me help you. Oh, I want that one. That's the one I'm mad at my brother because he didn't call me. He didn't call me. My brothers don't call me. I'm going to hold on to that. And then something good comes towards me. I have that one good thing. Oh, God, I want to hold on to that because there's not a lot of good things happening to me. So I really want to hold on to this one. Oh, God, they told me that I was a really good speaker. I'm gonna hold on to that. And life continues to happen. My mother dies. Oh, God. Oh, God. Here. And then other things happen. And oh, God, I lost my good. I don't want to lose that. I don't have a lot good happening. So I have to hold on to that. Okay. All right. It's okay. It's okay. Do you know when these things happen and you're holding so tightly, there's no room for other things. But I'm going to hold on because my father hit me. My brothers didn't call me. They didn't say, I love you. My friends don't call me or invite me to things. And life keeps happening. And life keeps happening. Oh, I have another good thing. I'm definitely hanging on to this. This is good. I got a partner. So now I'm okay. But life, little, things continue to happen. And I keep holding on to them. What are you holding on to? Oh, Heather. You know, Heather, I really appreciate you. And there are people that show up in my life that will help me let go of these things and say, remind me who I am and that I'm not these things. But, you know, I'm going to just keep pretending like everything's okay. I'm going to hold on to all this. I'm going to just try and do what I normally do. With dysfunction, but I can still function. I can still function. So this is resistance. This is holding on. What does it feel like in your body? What does it feel like? Tight. Can't breathe. Overwhelming, exhausted. Heavy. Do you know when you hold your breath, I just learned this the other day, it's a form of control. When you hold your breath. Fear. Hang on, let's see what else we have. I'm okay. I'm going to just hold on to all this. And so, all this is, you know, we're holding on to the people that hurt us, our parents, our friends, our teachers. And what is it costing us? What is it costing us? It's costing us freedom. It sets up resistance. And you know, God wants to support you. And you keep saying, oh God, where's God in all this? Well, God can't even get in here. Right? Oh, that was my brothers again. I'm definitely holding on to them. I have 3 brothers. Here, I got them. Okay, so, you know, when you're holding on this, or when I'm holding on this tight, it's hard to open my heart. It's hard to see other people's viewpoints. What else is it? It's hard to stand up. It's hard to breathe. It's hard to feel the flow. And so, basically, if you fix your thoughts on what you know is true, right? Excuse me. No. Here. So, as you can see, when I try to hold on to everything, oh, gee. That was that lady on the line when I was in line and she went in front of me. I was so mad because I was in a hurry and she cut in front of me. And so, anyway, now that I've exhausted myself, what happens is, if I turn, it's like all the past stuff. It serves, and we learn from it. But if I turn, and I remember to look at God and look at who I really am, things can come at me. Things can come at me, and I don't even know. They just keep happening at me. Yes, they just keep coming. Life happens, but I am so focused on God. I am so focused. Doesn't bother me because I'm rooted. I'm rooted in God. I'm rooted in the truth because the truth is when I'm in my heart and I remember who I am, then I remember who you are. And then it works. And we love. And then we are in relationship with people, with each other. And then we don't want to hurt each other because we're in relationship. And so there comes a time when all this stuff is happening, right? The past stuff. It could be you got hurt, you had a car accident, you got sick, your father hit you, you were raped. It could be any number of things. And then there's a decision that we make. And that decision leads us sometimes for a long time. Oh, that was a lady in the line. Oh. Anyway, what happens after I've exhausted myself, I make another decision. I choose again. And I turn away from all that past stuff that keeps running me, and I remind myself of the truth. And I surround myself with people that remind me of the truth. And then I just make a choice. It doesn't cost any energy to do this. And then my arms are open for God, for life, for the natural course of events. Which one do we want to choose? So, a key in this is forgiveness. And it's not like, oh, I'm saying that what happened is right or is okay. It's saying, wow, this is taking so much of my life force energy. I had an amazing conversation with my father this week for like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, because I prepared myself and I watched how long I was holding on to things. And so I just said, you know what? What's the most important thing? Love. And to connect with my Father. That's important to me. So I'm going to do my best. So I did. So forgiving each other. And it was somewhere in the reading. You don't know what's going to happen. It's like you're on a threshold like this. And you're going to fly. Like Len's song said, you're going to fly, but you don't know where you're going. You don't even know what's going to catch you. It doesn't matter, because if you have a faith and a trust in something bigger than yourself, you can just free fall. In the Bible, there's a reading by the Ephesians. It says this: get rid of all bitterness, rage, anger, harsh words, slander, revengeful spirit, unforgiveness. Instead, what's the answer? Love. Be kind. Be tender with each other. And forgive one another. But the only one we have really control over is our own self and our own actions and our own behaviors. Everything we do is a prayer. Which way do we want that prayer to go? Is there anyone here that would like to share what they're ready to let go of right now? If so, raise your hand. Something you've been holding on, perhaps, that you're ready to let it go right now. I'll start. Oh, I don't need the mic. So one of the things I very rarely do, I don't typically introduce myself as a minister. It's been 19 years. And I made a decision the other day. I found an ornament that after my mother died, I have. It's a little angel, and it has a little glitter peace sign. I was 5 years old when I made it. It's like the natural course of events can't, even me suppressing it, I can't stop it. It's what my heart and being wants. And so there's something inside of each of you, something where you can expand and grow. What do you need to release in order to take the next step, which is into the unknown? And we have mics.
I'm ready to release the guilt that I have felt that I put my kids through by maintaining the relationship with my husband. I was a battered woman, and I didn't stand up for myself, and I realized in time I didn't stand up for my children, and it was was guilty for a long time. So I released it then, I thought, but I still have a little bit left. So I'm releasing that, and I'm releasing the spirit of my past husband so that he can be free.
Awesome.
Physical stuff.
And if you want to talk more about that later, I'd be happy to be with you on that. She said physical stuff. That's one of the hardest ones to really deal with because you're in physical pain.
Worry, fear, and self-judgment. And I put that in the burning bowl right when I walked up. Worry is, I think it was Pam, you wrote that worry is negative prayer. Maybe it was you, I read it somewhere on social media, that worry is negative prayer. And just as you spoke about everything is a prayer, I have to let go of worry, especially around my son.
And you know, if I could just interject how we know, we can feel it in our body. We're at peace when we know. When we're in our heart, we're at peace. It may not feel like comfortable to do, but you know it's your way of getting guided, and it's the way that you're being directed to go. It's always talking to you. Look around at the signs. Anyone else?
Right here.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I feel really vulnerable right now.
So the part that I'm willing to release is control. It's something I keep thinking I've released and then keeps popping up in other ways, in beautiful ways. Like even in service, I give so much of myself, but is that truly always coming from my heart? Or is it sometimes to make sure everything goes right for my church, for example? You know, so I think control, it's, every time I feel it, what's good about it now is that I feel it when it's happening. And so I can take that breath, and I can take that time out, or I can ask for prayer, and it shifts. The prayer shifts, and the community shifts it, but especially when I pray. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, when we shift our own energy, things shift. I've been shifting my energy. I just got a Christmas card from my brother and his wife. I can't remember the last time I got a Christmas card from them. Shifting the energy works. I've been experimenting with this for 15 years. It's not about we're going to have a conversation, we're going to do this, it's about going right here. You know, the cross, which a lot of people follow, okay, it's between this world and this world. It's the intersection of those two worlds. Oh, Angela.
Several things coming to me, and one is trying to fix situations and look for solutions in something other than spirit.
Yeah, we get direct feedback with that. Yeah, what happens when we go, whether you want to call it life, spirit, God, the universe, Mother Earth, there is something bigger happening here. Even if we want to call it just this room right now, it's bigger than you as an individual. And when we all come together, something happens. But when we don't pay attention, we get some pretty direct feedback. Oh.
I'm releasing my story that I don't belong here and that I'm not good enough. I'm also releasing my story that I've had with my family, that they don't love me.
Who is familiar with that one? To remember who we are, to remember we're loved, to give and receive love. We're coming here to remember all of this. Okay, one more?
Yeah, I am willing to release my narrative of extreme chronic family abuse and abandonment, which led to a lot of years of self-medication, and it's kind of 50-year poop show. And I'm, in 2020, letting all that go. Yeah, I'm going to rewrite the narrative going forward.
So, okay, we'll take one more. Are we about wrapped? Oh, yeah. Two more. Okay, you and... Okay, three more, and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay, so yeah, I definitely have had like a lot of trauma in my life growing up. So when good things come to me, I tend to not see them as something I'm worthy of. So I kind of like, I'll just pass that along or give it to somebody else. Or so yeah, I guess I'm going to embrace the fact that I am deserving of all the good things that are coming to me. Because I know when I accept them, I can then share them with others. So, thanks.
Thank you.
Am I next?
My prayer
I'll
partner.
stand up. I'm over here. It was in May, I took a river trip on Colorado River. This is very touching to me. Coming down the river, 5-day journey, 187 miles, 5 nights camping. There were 29 of us. And I'm 86 now. I was only 85 then, so it wasn't so bad. But I needed help on some of the hikes we'd take in because it wasn't trail hiking. It was rock climbing and things that I didn't have that experience. Plus my balance issues and all. I won't go into all that. But people were reaching out to help me. Mm-hmm. And that was so damn hard for me. It was so hard, like, I can do this. Well, yeah, I could, but I'd still be up on one of those trails trying to get back down. They didn't have the time. And the gift I got from that, besides them helping me, is I could just feel the love flow. When I got back, because Diana Decay went on that trip too, I told her there's 27 new people now that I love, and I feel the love from them. That's good math. Just let it go. And so I'm still working on that. Still working on that release, because I can do it. I can do this. Well, if someone wants to help you, don't get in the way, because they're receiving a gift from that too. Trust me, the love quotient is higher. I have more love in my life now than I ever even knew existed in the world. So, and I got all these lessons right here, people. Thank you all.
Okay, we'll do 2 quick ones and then we'll wrap it up, okay?
First, I just wanted to say thank you very much for your analogy. That was perfect. I needed to see that, especially going into this new year. What I would like to release, I'm going to try and say it without crying, is bitterness and anger surrounding the loss of my son 4 years ago. He was my only child, and my way of coping or not coping has been my anger, my defensiveness, and it has spilled and contaminated many parts of my life to the point that I'm now living in my car and very isolated from friends and family. It's been a long time since I've been in this church, and I'm thankful that I came this morning, but I really want to say thank you again, because that spelled it out perfectly. Every little offense, every big offense, I've been walking around like that. So thank you again.
Okay, this is the last one, please.
This is so humbling, it really is. I just seem to think that I can do it always by myself, no matter what it is. It's so hard. That's real. Would you like a hug? Would you like a hug? Thank you. I'm sorry that you were there. I hope you feel better.
So I'm going to have you just stay with that, Megan. Just be with it. One of the things we can do when we have stuff like this come up, or anything, is we hold that part. It's like we invite it right into our heart. It can be pain, suffering. It could be a hurt. Just take that. You just sit, you close your eyes and you say, wow, what's going on with me? How young am I in there? What's going on? Who is it talking? Oh, sweetheart, you feel like nobody wants to play with you. Here, I got you. I'm with you. Big Eileen right here. And you get to bring whatever that is into your sanctuary. Each one of us. Because that's the safe place. One of the things I forgot to do in the demonstration was I was going to put these cones all around me. It's like my safety zone. Don't anybody come in, you know? So remember that this is a practice. You don't get it all right. we don't get it all right probably until our last breath even. It's a practice. Just go gentle. Because as hard as we are on ourselves, we are on one another. So if somebody's coming at you with anger, if you've practiced and you're going for that big ball and you're focused on that instead of the anger and being, distracted by those behaviors that are coming towards you, whoop, I know I have this. I know I'm this. It's a practice. So when we let go, that's when everything's available to us. It's unlimited. So I'm going to show you something I do at teen camp. Sarah, there's a stand around the bend or a piece of plastic, if you could bring them out. So this is something I show the teens at camp. And I didn't get anything big or anything, and I never practiced this. It was just something that happened to me at 15 years old. And if I think about it, I drop it. But if I stay in my zone, oh, Sarah, can I give you my rope? Oh, you got the hardest one first. So I just need to get in my zone for a second. But this is just a demonstration of being with God. So I never practiced this. Oh, it's not going to go. So one of the things, this one's not going to work. Can I have the stand? But I try. And when I get the signal to stop, I stop. I've only dropped something at teen camp once. I've never done the same thing twice. I've done bicycles and wheelbarrows and one-story, two-story ladders. But I'm completely open to God. Okay, hang on. Oh, this is a toughie. That's what's possible. Would you like to see one more? One more. How about that chair? So, what's possible in your life? I didn't know I could do this. I didn't practice. I just made it up. I was playing. I'm a little nervous with you guys. Okay. It's got to go the other way. Okay. So, my question to you is, what do you want to create in your life? You had the opportunity to let go of things before you came in here, and if you'd like, my lovely assistants, I don't know where they went. If you'd like to take a piece of paper to remind yourself of what you want to create in your life, please raise your hand, and can someone else help too, if you'd like a piece? And there's pens in the back or in the, if you could help. What, Linda? Oh, the burning bowl ceremony. So if you put releasing things in the bowl out there, I'll be doing that after church. And that's just to alchemize and change the energy. It just goes up in smoke, and then it's used as fertilizer, and it goes out. Nothing is done in isolation. This thing that I was talking about with you, about caressing yourself and saying, sweetheart, I know you're scared. I was terrified this morning, and I just kept working what I know works. The meditation, the jump rope, the lay on the earth and open my body. And I kept saying, it's okay, little Eileen. You're not going to be speaking up there. Big Eileen's going to be speaking. So you can go play. But take whatever it is and hold it. Hold yourself. And you will be impacting more than just yourself. It's not done in isolation. It's done, the people that are going through the same thing you're going through, divorce, I just had a wedding, gay marriage, is like there was some friction, but you see, by us healing, it impacts other people. It ripples out. And so I'm going to, do you want a minute with that? So on the top of the paper, it says handle with prayer. It's something like I like to put on notebooks and pencils. You can order it from one of the places and just have it personalized. It's kind of neat. And it just reminds me. I try to make everything a sign, put it in front of me, because it's a practice. And we're so run by our ego, and we think we're right in this and that, that it's like we have to hit the pause button or stop, and we have to say, what was I practicing? Oh, that's right, I'm practicing breathing and accepting what you're telling me, and you have a viewpoint too, it's not only about me. You all look beautiful. The most important thing is to love. It's patient, it's kind. It doesn't mean you're going to ignore those feelings that don't feel so good. It means you're going to go in and work with it so that you can come out and be a loving presence here. And so I'd like to take a moment out just to go into prayer. And I invite you to put your feet on the floor. Just put your pens down for a second. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Hold yourself. Hold your heart. Know that without you even asking, you're being supported by the loving presence of God, of life, of the universe. Without you even asking, notice you're supported. Sometimes we're holding on to stuff so tightly, we can't even see all the good that's around us. So I invite you to practice, to stop, to listen to your body, to know that whatever's coming through, it's like clouds and rain. It will pass, and the sun will come out again. I invite you to open your arms to all of life. Life is precious. Everyone you meet is a gift to you. It could be a gift that you feel blessed and peaceful and excited. And it could be a gift that's challenging and says, wow, what is this calling me up to do? How is this lifting me up to be a better person? Because we all walk this stage of life like Disney characters, and we meet all different people. So stay grounded in our own self first, in our connection and communion with God. That's the first muscle. That's the first thing before you get out of bed. Check in with you. Why am I here? What's going to happen today, God? My heart is open. Oh, you know, God, I'm feeling a little sensitive. So you take that moment and you hold yourself. And you say, sweetheart, I got you right here. Because if you don't, it's your responsibility. It's no one else's responsibility. So I know that you all have been touched. I know that whatever it is that you're wanting to release and open up to, that there are other people outside of this church, outside of this state, outside of this country that are going through exactly the same thing. You're not alone. And so your work is not done in isolation. Returning to love, returning to the source. Each time we do it, it impacts all of life. So the truth is, when you take care of yourself, when we take care of ourselves, the whole is taken care of. I send each one of you a blessing. Whatever it is that you need, I know that it's coming down like sunshine, dewfall, rain, wind carries it away and touches, like Len's song said, on the cheek, the wind touching him. The prayer just touches you, and you don't even have to know how. Just open your arms and your heart to knowing that somehow it works. And so we release whatever we're ready to release, and we're even willing to say, hey, you know what? I want to be willing to release this. I'm having such a hard time. Could you help me just try and be willing and open our arms? And then we just let that all go. It doesn't cost any energy to let go. The cost is in the holding on, in the controlling, setting up camp, thinking we know. But it's a choice. So today I invite all of us to look at our choices and ask ourselves, what's stopping us? What's stopping me from coming from a place of love? What inside of me needs attention and love so that I can go out again with a clean heart and give freely? So again, I send a special blessing to each of you. And I'd like to also send a special blessing for Inner Light Ministries, moving into the Vets Hall in the beginning of the new year. We're just changing form. And even that we get to release. What our community looks like, what our physical space looks like, what the configuration of people look like. We're going to be downtown, right, centrally located like a hub of Santa Cruz. We don't know what's going to happen, but something's going to happen. And so let's just lean into that, trust that, and just jump off the precipice, knowing that God's got our back. conserve our energy, let go, release. And sometimes it's even easier to do that if we do it and then we don't look back. Don't look back at the shirt we're sending to the Goodwill and say, oh, well, actually, I don't want to put that in the Goodwill. I like it. Just put it in the bag, close it up, and let it go. And so we let this prayer go, let it get charged by the sun, washed by the rain, carried by the wind, to all life on the planet, to all our loved ones and families, people who we hold dear. And let's walk as a loving presence on this planet, because God knows we need that. Even in the presence of discord. So we give thanks for all of it, all of life. And together we say, so it is, amen.